Hey, Melanie Diane Howe here, and I've got an awesome tip I want to share with you guys today that's going to help you create some really great thumbnails for your live streaming preview graphic or your YouTube thumbnails. Now, have you ever seen those images where you have people in the actual thumbnail with a different background, but then they also have a halo or an outline around the people in the image? Yes. So we can actually create those very easily using Canva, and today I'm going to show you how. Now, before we get started today, let me ask you please to go ahead and subscribe and get notifications for the channel so that you do not miss any of these tutorials that I upload. Plus, I go live all the time answering all your questions. All right, now let's get to it. Okay, my friends, here we are inside of Canva. So we're going to start with a blank canvas. Now, you can obviously start with an actual background. You can start with a design if you want. We're just going to start a very simple thumbnail from scratch here. We're actually going to go in here to background. We're going to select this particular background, which is what I use. One of the cool things about Canva too that I really like is that you can actually flip the background if you wanted to change it up every once in a while, which I have recently started doing. Now we're going to upload an image first. So let's pick a good one here. I'm going to go over to this particular image right here. So we're going to start here. Now, what you want to do is you're going to go up to the effects section. And if you are a pro user, you have background remover as one of the effects. Now, this is a magic trick. It is absolutely incredible. It works. It's not always perfect. It absolutely depends on the image itself, but within a matter of seconds, it will automatically remove the background. Check that out. Now you notice here, there's a little bit of an imperfection. It did not, it accidentally removed part of my earring. What's really cool is we can go in here and we can actually restore this. Now it does take a little practice. You can absolutely butcher this process if you're not careful. I recommend you do this very carefully if you're going to do it. Resize our brush here. Now I can also see the background, the original image, to see what I'm trying to restore here. And as you can see, I'm just going to restore part of that earring. So I'm just going to continue to change my brush, touch this up just ever so slightly. Again, it's not always perfect, but that's okay. Done is better than perfect in most situations. I think that's good enough for what we're trying to do here. But as we turn off that original image, I think I kind of want to restore it just a little bit more. I want to polish up the edge there. I'm just going to do this very gently. You have to have a steady hand with your mouse. Just polish that up just a tiny bit more. All right, that's good enough. Okay, now we're going to select done. And now, as you can see, it restored our image. So here I'm going to make this a little larger, just to kind of get it into more context of the frame of my thumbnail that I'm going to be designing here. Now, I'm going to put it down here on the edge. That's where I want to be. Now, you'll notice one thing when you do this, sometimes it will actually take a few seconds before it sort of actually hides your image behind the edge. So here's what we've got. Here I am in my image. Now, to get that halo effect I was telling you about, you're actually going to highlight your image and you're going to copy it and you're going to duplicate it. Now, you can also just click this button up here and it'll do the same thing. So now I have two of me. You're thinking, why do you have two of you? Well, I am actually going to take this one right here. Well, let's go with this one actually. This one right here, and we're going to adjust it. So we're going to go in here, we're going to make it bright, and I'm going to add a little blur. Okay. Now I'm actually going to move it back over to the image, and then I'm going to position it backward. And now, as you see, we've got this little bit of a halo, this little bit of a nice little fuzzy outline. You don't always want to use this particular type of design, but many times it's going to help you stand out from your background. It's super popular on YouTube right now for thumbnails. People have these outlines of the people that they have in their thumbnails. Now, one of the things you can also do, if you, depending on the background design that you have, is you may want to actually not go with the white version. You may want to actually go with a dark version. And to make it dark, you're actually just going to go the opposite direction on your brightness. You're going to go back. The other thing you may want to consider is you may want to consider making that background a little bit bigger. And there's a couple ways you can do that. So I'm going to move this again. So we're going to go in here to adjust. You can make the blur a little more drastic. And as you notice, it gets a little larger. The actual, color gets a little larger. And so if I go back in and I move myself back over, you'll notice there's a little bit more to that actual image back there. Now, a couple ways you can do this if you don't want to keep dragging around, you just want to click around and make it easy. You can actually just keep switching the position of the images. So I'm going to send that backward. I'm going to go back in here, go to adjust, and I'm actually going to make that blur really big. And you'll see here, this is especially noticeable when we go with the white version. So then we just position it backward again, and now we can see it. So there's a lot of glow, lots of glow, right? And you're just going to want to decide on this based on the type of design you're going for. I personally don't love the actual heavy glow, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to adjust that down. Now, there's another thing you can do when it comes to this particular background, this glow background that you're creating. So you can actually increase the size of the image just so slightly to give it a little more of a dense outline, because in order to get that larger outline in the background, you have to go with the larger blur. However, one of the ways around it is to make the image just a little bit bigger if you don't want that softer, you want that harsher background. So as you can see here, we've got a bigger glow, or a more brighter glow, but it's not so soft. Now, this is a little tricky. You do have to be a little bit careful about it, because you can, because you are using two different size images, you are gonna have to make some adjusting and play around with it a little bit. So that is how you can add a halo effect inside of Canva by using the background remover tool that is a pro tool, but also a really easy, quick, simple way to give yourself that halo. Pretty cool stuff, right? I hope that you're now inspired to go create some really cool thumbnail graphics for either your scheduled live videos or your thumbnails for your YouTube videos. And especially with people in them, I am a big fan of putting people in our graphics. Now, if you want to sign up for Canva and get your own Canva Pro account so you can use that awesome background remover tool, you can follow the link down in the description to go sign up for your Canva account. Now, you can sign up for free, of course, but if you want to use that background remover tool, you're going to need a pro account, which is very, very inexpensive in the grand scheme of things, let me tell you. All right, my friends, that's what I've got for you guys today. Again, don't forget to follow this channel and subscribe and click on the bell so that you get notified when I upload a new video and, of course, when I go live. Until next time, see you later.